Whoa, press the button. Yes, I did. Yeah, I just noticed a mosquito bit me while I was sleeping. Ouch. Not ouch, but irritating. Right in the face. Annoying little bastards. Yeah, gonna be a lot of mosquitoes with all this wet. Anyway, kind of a bummer. So I did watch a couple of videos. Kind of annoying conversation. I mean, somebody was giving me a lecture about, oh yeah, you should change your approach in confronting people about the Venom Fang X thing, like I did something wrong. And I guess they missed the point. I mean, I'm not talking about changing my entire YouTube presence. I'm just talking about doing something separate, like another channel, with a different approach, that would be insulated from hostility. But still about getting other people to listen. It's not necessarily about listening to them. Alright, I've heard Venom Fang's bullshit. And it's the same bullshit over and over. So I don't need to listen to Venom Fang X. He needs to listen to the other side of the argument. And he can't do that if he's talking. Alright, and so I just found it very obnoxious for somebody to point out that I was interrupting or talking over Venom Fang X when he dominates any conversation he's in. He will, like you can ask him a simple yes or no question and he'll go on for 20 minutes. I mean, he can do it. And it's a bullshit tactic. I mean, you can't, if you don't control the conversation, yeah, people will just take complete advantage. I just found it just very obnoxious because it was just so obvious that's what Venom Fang X was doing in the short conversation we had. I gave him plenty of time to speak his speak, and he speaked a bunch of bullshit. And then he started complaining because he didn't get even more time, which is just so ludicrous, such a joke. These people who spend, 2 minutes complaining that, you didn't let me answer the question. Oh, I just gave you 2 fucking minutes and you wasted it complaining about not having enough time. I mean, it's just, you can't even talk about how stupid it is. But anyway, the whole point is, again, this isn't that complicated. The truth of our reality can be summed up, pretty damn well in 20 minutes or less. So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about a movie. We're talking about a story, a screenplay, something. It's like even Metamorphos's book. It's a great book. I liked it. But most of it's just a personal narrative. And so most of it could be argued to be just there to create a familiarity and a comfort and a friendliness. And it's not really talking about the subject. It's indirectly setting an atmosphere for the conversation. And the real conversation's, 4 premises and a few defenses of the obvious counter-arguments. So yeah, the real book is 20 pages. The seduction is 200. And that's the way it works. And my argument is not to defend that. My argument is to find ways around that. And to say, we got to get people to listen to the 20 minutes, and not the 7 million hours of talking head, jimmer jabber, culturally motivated pop culture crap that, dominates the media. I did see another, there's that Asian physicist guy who's quite likable, but he's doing the Carl Sagan show kind of thing, the science show. I guess it's on Discovery Channel or something. I mean, I don't do the TV thing, so I don't know about this shit. But anyway, and he's doing like impossible physics or something like that, talking about transporter beams and creating a Death Star and all that stuff. So anyway, somebody linked to the Death Star video, so I watched that. And, it was okay, but again, it was all this showiness stuff. There was 2 minutes of content, and the rest of the show was all just a bunch of wowie-powie, cartoon crapola. And the seduction, or what some people might call the candy that keeps people interested. But I don't find that I find it has the opposite effect on me. It's just tedious and irritating, because you're just saying, well, get to the point, show me the catch. I mean, do you really have to talk this way? It's so patronizing and insulting. So anyway, it was sort of interesting, though, that apparently there's a neutron star sitting out there that in somewhere around 10,000 years is going to supernova. And apparently these neutron stars supernova through their poles. And so it's... Alright, quick add-on. Yeah, there'll be another extra. Anyway, yeah, memory ran out. Yeah, it was a neutron star, and the point was that it supernovas through its poles and shoots out a bunch of X-rays in a direction. And apparently there's one right out there somewhere, pointed kind of right at us. And sometime in the next 10,000 years, it's going to blow its load, yeah, we're going to be in the path. And it could pretty much certainly wipe out life on Earth. Might do more damage than that to the planet. But anyway, curious. Just another reason to say we're fucked. Yeah, that's another reason. All right, so yeah, on with the show, as they say. Yeah, the video show. So anyway, yeah, that's enough of an interruption. I think I just said what I need to say. I think I said the part that's missing. Yeah. So I'll say it again. Yeah. Until next time. Another day. It's gonna rain though. Spoil it. But yeah, can't have everything. Oh damn! Yeah, I ran out of memory. Forgot to delete some videos off the camera. So anyway, I don't know where it cut off. But the point of the show was this whole idea that there's lots of ways you can blow up a planet, lots of ways you're going to use the physics, and that we're sort of fucked. That, yeah, there might be lots of these little bombs out there waiting to go off in the cosmos. You know, there could be a beam of high energy X-rays already on their way from some other calamity that we have no idea took place. And we're not going to know it until it gets here. And that's just the fact of it. There ain't going to be any warning, because as soon as you can detect it, it's already on you. You know, there's not going to be any kind of warning shot. So yeah, the whole thing, the whole human experiment's probably over anyway in a few thousand years. So yeah, there's another reason to gracefully get the hell out of here and not wait for the planet to get blown to bits or, you know, irradiated into insufferable conditions. You know, because that death might be kind of slow and nasty. You know, radiation death is probably not the best way to get exterminated, unless it's so massive, you know, that it wipes you out immediately. And, you know, it might not be that much. It might be just enough to slowly kill you over a period of months. But anyway, depending on how far away the neutron star is. But anyway, clamp. Have to come back for that. It's got a little bend in it, but I'll put it in my bag of useful tool thingies. You know, stainless steel, you know, lasts forever. Yeah, it'll survive the neutron star, that's for sure. A little one. Well, one that's far enough away. So anyway, what I want to get to. Yeah, so, you know, the thing I got to do, I think I'm just going to make a series of videos, and I think I'll put them on my new channel, Evilist. Yeah, maybe that's an idea. And, you know, just keep refining the 20-minute video, or the 12-minute video, or the 15, whatever it takes to do the summary of reality, the important facts of our reality. And there really aren't that many. And people get into all this minutia to try to squeeze words in there. I mean, I did a response video earlier to that stupid Piro and Hannibal, whatever. And, you know, because they want to keep perverting evolution. Oh yeah, let's somehow figure out how to put altruism into evolution. It's just so fucking stupid. Just as a word doesn't belong there. And a lot of what happens, again, we're back to this fossil thing this idiot's pointing to. Oh, we don't have any record. Well, of course you don't have a record. Because guess how many humans get fossilized? 1 in a billion? I mean, come on. So what's the chances if you got 50 fossilized humans from 100,000 or a million years ago? What, you think it's going to be representative? You're going to have one picking flowers, and one was out, fornicating, and one was daydreaming about unicorns, and then one of them was in a fight and was crashing the other guy's skull. I mean, come on. You're not going to get a representative picture of life. And you're certainly not going to be lucky enough to catch just the right snapshot of their existence. You're going to catch them like running from a volcano or doing something else to end up being a fossil in the first place, because it's really hard to become a fossil. It's harder than winning the lottery. And people don't get that. There ain't millions and billions, everything doesn't turn into a fossil. It's a very rare event. Alright, what else? Yeah, so there's this whole life thing too. When it gets in the record, we don't see most of the species that ever existed on Earth. We probably have no record of them whatsoever. Because their population wasn't great enough to be part of the record. And that's sort of the way it works too, is that to be a player on Earth in this survival game in the long run, you have to achieve an advantage that's a real advantage in the real big game. You can't stay in your local community. You got to move you got to spread like a virus across the land, like a fire. And because in the long run, you have to have population density to survive the forest fires and survive the natural disasters. You can't be isolated, and you can't be a small number, or eventually some calamity will consume you. So over time, the only thing that survives are all your ancestors were likely had very high populations at one time in their existence, because that's the game. You got to achieve high density to survive in the long run. What else? Yeah, but there's just so much of that little minutia stuff, and it's like, who cares anyway? We don't need the minutia. We see what the basic idea is. We understand that it's a competition. All the organisms are competing with each other for presence here, for ownership of an environment. And again, the tendency is to have dominant ownership, because that'll preserve you in the long run. And that's the game. And the attributes that are going to give you that end result are going to be attributes that aren't going to have anything to do with altruism, or being fair, or being nice, or being any of that shit. It's going to be because you can physically, functionally dominate the competition. And it's a stupid, idiotic game. And what survives not because it's the best, but it's only fit by a crude definition of fitness, not by an elegant definition, not by a human definition, not by a rational definition or a logical definition. Damn bugs. It's an elaborate definition that we would seek, and nature's definition is crude and brutal and sucks. And we're just glorifying our essence, which is cockroach. That's what we are underneath this bag of skin. We're not much more. I thought that was sort of an interesting point in the other video to Pyro about the bug stuff. was just contemplating the power of the bug brain and size. These people keep talking about the size of the human brain, and size isn't the factor. We have size just because our survival didn't depend on miniaturization. But theoretically, I think we could have the brain of the size of a walnut and still be human. There's humans right now alive that are barely 1.5 feet tall and probably have, less than a pound of brain. And they're perfectly functional, can speak English and do all that kind of crap. So the function is still there. And so it can all be smaller. It could take up much less space in our skull. But there was no evolutionary necessity for that to take place. So it didn't. But theoretically, as I think insects demonstrate, you could have much more neurology and capacity packed into a lot smaller space. This sort of indicates too, this is sort of demonstrated by these people that have what is that disease called? Not disease, but condition. Damn, I really hate this shit lately. I mean, I know these words and I'm just like struggling with them, and I really shouldn't be. But stress. Maybe I'll just blame stress. But anyway, they have too much fluid in their brain, and it basically smashes their gray matter to the sides of their skull. Now they appear perfectly functional. I mean, they might have some defects, but I mean, substantially, they're still human. And yet their brain, their actual brain, is taking up a small percentage of their skull. And most of their brain space is filled with fluid. And so it just demonstrates that there's a lot of fluff in our heads. And it's only because of how we evolved that there was no immediate necessity for our brain to become highly efficient in terms of its spatial requirements. And there might have been some benefit to having, to using more space. I don't know if there would be, but there could be some advantage to it. But it's not a significant advantage. It's not the source of our intelligence. Size really doesn't matter. I mean, it does in absolute terms. There is a point where it's too little. But the point is, if you took the actual processing power of 1 million insect brains, you'd be a hell of a lot smarter than you are with one human brain. No doubt about it. So anyway, I think it's enough. Damn itch. Ooh, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, so until next time and such, and so forth and whatnot.